Hey guys, what is going on? This is Cardinal Bird 5. So, I have another video for you guys. I'm going to try to show you guys how to hit high heat and give you guys a few pointers. And keep in mind, uh, everybody's approach and experience will be different based upon, their skill set and also their environment. So, what I mean by environment is if you're kind of a type of player that likes to lounge and play back far from the TV, it's going to be hard to hit high heat to begin with. So, um, I guess my first tip is if you're actually trying to hit high heat and you're playing online, you're trying to hit 95, 96 mile an hour fastballs, high and in, you gotta make sure you're comfortable in a comfortable environment. You have to make sure you have a chair that's eye level with the players or the pitcher's release point. I also of course recommend playing on a monitor. It's not necessary, guys, though. I mean, if you have a good TV with good response rate, under 10 milliseconds. I used to play on a 40-inch Sony Brava, and I hit just fine on that with high heat. I also play on a BenQ now. Of course, monitors are always going to give you better response time, so just get those things out of the way. And of course, I also do use Control Freaks. All those things being said, though, it's still up to you as the individual to have the willingness to, hit the high fastball. I play a lot of people online, and a lot of the newer players, and I swear, I think the biggest problem for them is they are just not willing to put their PCI up and in and hit it. So in this video, I'm going to try to focus on giving everybody a few different pointers. First, I want to talk about how I hit high heat. So I'm playing on two controllers, so bear with me here, guys. But what I like to do is one step off here. What I like to do is I like to either keep it in the middle or keep it about right here, especially when we're facing righty on righty. The reason I don't like to start it all the way up in here and just leave it there is because a lot of times you're going to miss pitches down the middle. It's going to be really hard to leave it there and then react to pitches either middle and especially middle in. What's going to happen is you're going to start the PCI right here and you're going to do this. You're going to try to hit that pitch middle in. Say it's a pitch right here and you start right up here. What's going to happen is you're going to overcompensate. Even with Control Freaks, you're going to overcompensate and get about right here, right down there, and you're going to hit way under that and miss it. So I don't like to keep it static right there. That's just a personal preference, though. I used to do that back in the day, but this is how I hit. Keep in mind, I'm using two controllers at once here, so alright. So what I like to do is keep it about right here and just look for that high heat. And it's a deep fly out, but that's okay. Alright, let's see what our feedback was on that. So I was a little bit under it, didn't get to it in time. But that's what I like to do, guys. I make sure you're in a comfortable environment. Make sure you're eye level with the pitchers. Usually, either the release point or the logo on their cap. Also, I highly recommend Strike Zone camera. Not a necessity, but I think it's the best camera to hit the high fastball with. So that's another tip I have. So let's go ahead and give it a run. Try to hit another high fastball here. I don't know where this is going to go, but that's a ball. I'll give you guys a few other pointers as well, but this is usually how I like to hit high fastballs. Start about right up here. That's another deep fly out, possibly. Alright, that's okay. But I know, you're not always going to get instant results with hitting high fastballs, but one of the most important things is showing your opponent you can hit the high and inside fastball. To me, that is really the biggest difference between like a good player and an average player in MLB The Show. The players that can hit those pitches, that at least show they can hit that, or even get anywhere close to hitting that. And when you guys are watching me play online, you'll know that I will attack players up and in until they show me they can hit it, and then I'll start to adjust from there. To me, that is really the biggest difference between average players and good players. So if you want to make sure, if you want to make that transition from an average to good player, you're gonna have, to start hitting those pitches high and in. And I'm trying to show you guys on the camera here. This is a little bit difficult, but if you guys are paying attention, this is my left thumb right here. So make sure you guys are paying attention to what I'm doing on the controls. I'm not doing anything too crazy. I put my thumb on top of the analog like that, but you guys can watch me if you want to. I just added it, but we'll try another one here. High and in, doing what I like to do. Start about right here. Right, that was more like down the middle. Also, what I like to do is I like to do one of two things: watch the logo on the pitcher's cap, or I like to watch the ball out of the glove the entire time. I usually prefer watching the ball outside the glove the entire time. We'll try to get another one here. This should be a good one to start right here. There we go. That was a good hit. Let's get that in. And look at the feedback on that. You see we squared it up, hit it pretty hard. And that's what I like to do, guys. I like to start it right here. You can start it down the middle too, but I've been like, I either like to start it about right in here or right in here. And yeah, I don't like to keep it static, just leave it right up there, because it's hard to do that, because I notice a lot of people will try to do that. And it can be very difficult, even when you finally get your pitch, to keep it in that spot, because we all have that natural tendency to drop our PCI like that. So even when we do get that pitch and we're keeping it static up and in, a lot of the times people will just drop it. I know MLB The Show Tips put out a video, and he had a really good suggestion at putting your thumb all the way behind the left analog. If I can show you guys, like right there, if you guys can see that. That's a good way to keep it static. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Right there. You guys see my left thumb? I'm completely under the left stick, and that's a good way to keep it static. So those are good tips by him. I'm trying to teach you guys how to be a little bit more dynamic and versatile in hitting the high fastball. Alright, so next, here's another tip I have, guys. And I've been doing this a lot if you guys have been watching me when I was streaming or in my gameplay videos on YouTube. I like to start the PCI middle in sometimes if it's a really hard throwing righty. Zach Greinke doesn't necessarily throw extremely hard, but what I like to do, if you guys see my thumb, this is kind of like, I don't know, MLB The Show Tips was throwing this. This is a good way to keep your PCI static in one spot, but I kind of do it for a different purpose. I feel like this gives me better range of motion when I do this, and I'm putting the PCI all the way in. I also feel like when you get the PCI all the way in like this, you can hit the ball harder. Those inside pitches a lot harder for whatever reason. I've been loving hitting like this. I also show this technique in my lefty on lefty, so it can work righty on righty as well. I just don't always recommend it because it leaves you vulnerable to change up sliders and curveballs. But I'll give you guys an example of hitting like this. So we'll start it like this. Bam, gone. I'm playing an all-star, and I feel like that gives you great range of motion. So if you guys are watching my left thumb there, and bam, right on it. I mean, the most important thing, really in my opinion, about hitting the high E is the timing, more so than the PCI placement, because when your opponents are pitching you high and in, or high in the zone, or sometimes they leave it middle in or down the middle or high middle, whatever, those pitches on MLB The Show are considered to be meatballs. So the PCI placement will be a little bit more generous. What's more important is the timing. So if you show your opponent you're early on those, trust me, guys, they will stop throwing them, because when you connect on high and in pitches, they fly. Unlike middle in, low and in, keeping the ball down. High and in, once you guys get a hold of it, it's gone. But it's such a hard pitch for a lot of individuals to hit. And I'll show you guys that technique again. Start at middle in like this. All right, a little bit late on that. We'll let that drop. Once you catch that little bastard caught that. That's okay. We'll fast forward to the next inning. This is going to be kind of a lengthy video, guys. I apologize, but to do a video like this, fortunately, I have to talk a lot and demonstrate a lot. So we'll fast forward to the next half inning. Maybe we get some lefties up, and I'll show you a little bit of difference here. All right. So yeah, I really like using that technique. So those are two techniques I showed you. Either keep it middle in or cheat a little bit about right in here, or get your thumb all the way on the right side of the analog and push it all the way over like that. And it just gives you good range of motion on the inside part of the plate. Like I said, it keeps you vulnerable to the off-speed pitches. Another way to do things is just to start it high and in. You can do that, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But I'll show you guys it can work. You just have to be really disciplined and keep your PCI there. And like I said, MLB The Show Tips did a good video, and it showed you guys, how to keep it static up in here. But if you do that, you're not going to be able to react to anything else. So I'll go ahead and just keep it static here. Alright, so you see, you can hit it hard. And if that's what you have to do, guys, just to hit them, is you have to pre-place it up there and keep it still. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But the most important thing, guys, to hitting high heat is showing your opponent you have the capability to do so. If you don't, you're going to get exposed all game, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, we have a lefty on righty. This is kind of similar. The only thing is you're not going to do this. I don't recommend doing this righty on lefty or lefty on righty. What I like to do is kind of the same thing, either start in the middle or cheat a little bit up and in. And I'll just show you guys the results. Alright. And I know exactly where the pitch is going, so it's a little bit different in a game, especially when you know a changeup or slider might be coming. But that's how I hit high fastballs, guys. And I hope that helps. I know it's nothing crazy, but like I said, there's a lot of things that go into it. You know, you don't have to have a monitor, you don't have to have control freaks, you don't have to have all that high heat. You have to have the willingness to hit high heat more importantly than any of those other things I mentioned. Those things are important though. So I hope that helped, guys. I don't know if you guys picked up anything from that or not, but that's my approach on hitting high heat, and I feel like it's really the most important thing, separating the average players from good players. So that's going to be it for the video. Hope that helped. This is Cardinal Bird 5 signing out. Peace.